Hi, I'm Deb, and today we're going to be doing a sketchbook tour of this baby right here. If you're new here, hello and welcome, and also you might want to subscribe if you like sketchbook tours because I have more coming, as you can see here. There's 4 more coming. They're coming. So why is this the first sketchbook I've kept in 26 years? Why did I take such a long break? There's 2 reasons. One, I kind of gave up on the idea of being an artist for a while. College kind of killed that dream for me, especially when all the adults around you tell you you can't make a living as an artist unless you go into things like advertising and graphic design. By the way, none of that's true. You can't. The last time I used a sketchbook, like a traditional paper and pencil sketchbook, was in the school year of 94-95 at Kent State University. I took the long break, and then when I finally was getting back to art, I didn't keep a sketchbook. I just would doodle on loose paper here and there, never really keeping track of stuff, never keeping it as a collection. And then when I got into my stationery business, when I was drawing, I might sketch out a quick thumbnail, but I would go straight to my iPad and draw it there. I use Procreate mostly for what I do. I have a shop, it's called Debbie Draws Funny, and I have greeting cards, pins, stickers, t-shirts, mugs, that sort of thing. So I sell things in my online shop, and I wholesale to stores across the US and Canada. In 2020, I started watching a lot of art videos and like discovered studio vlogs, sketchbook tours, and it made me want to go back to using a sketchbook again. So I bought a watercolor paper sketchbook, and I was like, if I can even fill 10 pages, that'll be amazing, let alone filling a whole book. But obviously, I didn't stop there. Since May of 2021, I completed this, plus really 3.5, because I'm like almost halfway through my 5th sketchbook. So I think it's safe to say that I'm into this. I like sketching. I like completing a sketchbook. There's something really rewarding about being like, holy cow, all these ideas came out of my head. Most of these are not just planned, they might be an idea I had a plan for, but a lot of times it's just like, let's sit down and see what comes out of my crazy head. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the tour. Let's do the tour. Roll that beautiful bean footage. Shall we just dive in? That's me diving into the book. Let's go. And I'm gonna put the name of what this sketchbook is, the brand. I really liked it for a couple reasons. It's got, one of these hickey-doos. It's got, the little ribbon. The thing I didn't like about it, the texture. You hear that? It drove me crazy. I tried painting it to change the texture. Nothing changed the way this felt, but I'm over it now, so that's that. Okay, so this was kind of like a art journal / sketchbook. So I started this in May of 2021. I finished at the end of September. So the first spread I did has a lot to do with mental health. So content warning? It's not too heavy duty, but just so you know. I felt vulnerable doing that because I'd never really art journaled before, so I went ahead and made a page and made it a safe space. So I just wanted to declare to myself, like, it doesn't matter, no one's gonna see it. Obviously that was a lie to myself. So here we go. I was having some killer cramps, drinking raspberry leaf tea to help the cramps, and I was just kind of sketching what was in front of me, and just my head was I just wasn't in a good headspace. Anxiety and depression leave me feeling like a caged animal. So it was a dark moment. Anyway, I had this idea in my head to do like butterflies with like a glass dome, a cake stand, to put into imagery what I was feeling in my head. I wrote down that it rained a lot, rained for days. Ralph, our cat, was crying to go outside. That there were these translucent looking mushrooms that like they were there in the morning when I went to fill up the bird feeder, and like later on in the day they just like practically disintegrated. It's like they popped up and like then boom, gone. These are the desk friends. So this was something I drew next. I literally have these items on my desk. Pokey, Gumby, a whole gang. All right, next, this was just me kind of feeling like I was really sick of the whole idea of hustle culture, which I had been for a long time, but just putting it down. All right, so this was from a My Favorite Murder mini-sode, number 228. I'm glad that I wrote all that down. I was watching something on YouTube, and I think these were some of the items she had on shelves. I really loved the way this lamp turned out. It was like, that glass kind of looks like glass. So I liked this spread. I thought, pretty good. This was kind of a plain air sketching situation. I was out on the deck drawing our petunias, really trying to like scribble up with watercolor super fast as like animals were around. These are squirrels' faces and like some bird faces, but this is like me trying to do it super fast, so it just looks like a bunch of decapitated rats. That's all right, that's what it is. Yeah, so that's that. This, I was thinking a lot about how in Siberia, shamans would deliver flyer garret mushrooms, and that was kind of like the Christmas tradition, like how, I'm not explaining this well, so I'm gonna link a video or something below, but basically how the Amanita muscaria, aka the flyer garret mushroom, is associated with Christmas and reindeer, but they are one of the coolest mushrooms. They're just, I love drawing mushrooms, I love learning about, they're just, I find them so fascinating. The fungi kingdom is pretty rad. So I was writing a little bit about that. I turned this into a holiday card. I have these little guys on my desk. So I was drawing these, I was trying to look at like from perspective, so like looking directly, looking down on it, trying to do the same for this guy, like, so yeah. And this is based on a photo of my kids that we have hanging above the fireplace, just kind of like a cartoony rendition of them. And I love the photo, and just every time I look at it, it fills my heart with joy and giggles. This was me just kind of doing, I forget what it's called, is it it's something where it's like you have splotches and then you kind of draw something, draw what you see out of it. So what I did was I just kind of blobbed a bunch of watercolor, and then I drew like these weird, like a weird little shrimp, and like I was using a micron pen, just outlining some of the splotches, drawing like, I could see like a dolphin face, you know, there's kind of a hummingbird. It was like birds and fish and stuff. Then I did, let's see, we got this whale-ish kind of thing. These look like old 1950s cartoon shark. This is a fish that's like doing the splits in the air because it has legs. And we got another shark here. So just kind of goofy and fun, but it just kind of gets your imagination going, so. Next is a terrible drawing of Ralph that went off the wall. And then just some more cat faces. This is my favorite one. It's just this really grumpy, judgmental cat. Here's another one, very condescending looking. Doing some birds. I was doing really getting into sketching more birds lately, so I started drawing like tropical birds. This was stuff I was sketching while we were at the barber for my son Charlie. Jack, my oldest, had like crazy wild hair and said my hair's fine when he said you need a haircut. So this is Charlie waiting for the haircut nervously. I tried to draw a frog from memory and a duck from memory. So not terrible, but not accurate. So this is a plant I have here on my desk. Here it is. Here's the plant. There's your proof. So this is koala lovers. Oh wait, I'm sorry. This isn't off Instagram. This is our raccoon friend that was constantly coming like every night. Turned out she was having babies, and then she brought back the babies. They were adorable. We called her Sammy Davis Jr., the raccoon. It was just a name we shouted out and she responded. So there you go. More tropic birds. These were some sketches that I turned into stickers. This was a vintage sign for like an ice cream place. This was me trying to draw Lydia Dietz saying, I myself am strange and unusual from Beetlejuice, one of my favorite movies. This is me just doodling up dogs, plants. These were from watching New York, but these two dogs in sweaters were just so cute. I had to draw them. Putting in some quotes. The heart has its reasons, which reason knows not. This was a quote that her 86 square meters on YouTube had put on screen. I just really loved it. I just did some doodles, and the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom, from a nice nun. This was a quote that kept coming up a lot. Like it came up like 3 times in a couple of days from like different things. Like I saw it on a wall somewhere. The Unexpected Gypsy, Wendy, was making a painting with this quote. I was reading a book and the quote was in there too, and I was like, man, this thing is showing up everywhere for me, so I had to write it down. And perfection is static, and I am in full progress, which is, perfectionism is a struggle for me. So I understand how hard that is. It can really just make you paralyzed with fear of doing something wrong. And I'm trying to live by the rule of done is better than perfect. This was another dog from watching New York, little baby piglet that I found, I don't know, on Google Images. These aren't the greatest. They're not bad. I mean, but they're not the best. All right, here we go. More tropic birds. Hummingbird. I really like this spread because I love the colors. I like the flamingo with sparkly water. I think I actually painted this in my first studio vlog. This is from Awesome, a little bunny that was in our yard I took pictures of. And I like how the rabbits turned out. I was like, I'm enjoying them. I think they're cute. I would pet them if they came to life. That's the requirement when you see an animal drawing. If it came to life, would it scare you, or would you be like, come here, I want to be a friend? This was just some wildflowers in the garden. This was definitely on one of my vlogs. Might have been first or second one. More flowers. These are twins, Charlie and Amelia. This was them on the beach when we went to Old Lyme, Connecticut to visit family. This was the dark, was kind of like, the water was kind of dark. The water was kind of dark and choppy. This was just like the sky, some shells, doodles. This is when I started really getting on a frog kick. I'm on a real frog kick right now. I love drawing a grumpy frog. An irritable frog, it's like my favorite thing. I did this on a vlog for sure. I do want to turn this into a sticker. I have this clock, so I drew it, and I definitely want to do that. This was inspired by an herbal essence, the old like 1970s, 1980s Clairol herbal essence bottles, because I just loved the artwork on it. I was sketching all these out for Halloween sticker ideas, which I used some of these ghosties for. This was me getting Posca pens for the first time, and I fell in love. Like, these were my first Posca sketches, and I was like, I am digging these. I like them. Look at them. This I turned into an ornament, but I was drawing out again back to that whole, the reindeer with the mushrooms. Here's our money plant again, growing, thriving, making the money. This was a screenshot I took of Lee Ellickson petting her Hercules. It's so just really cute in that moment. This is me just kind of copying the Acapulco mug that I have. It's the Acapulco pattern, which is based on like Mexican folk art, which I love because it's just like bright colors. It's eye candy to me. Love Mexican folk art. I was thinking about doing this into a sticker. I don't know. I barely remember doing this, but I was trying to do like kind of like a cool 70s psychedelic sunset looking thing. I was trying to do kind of a folk art, Mexican folk art inspired doodles. This was from a photo of glowing mushrooms. Like, it's like these fluorescent green, like they're really cool looking. They're just like so little and they glow. And so I was trying to kind of capture that kind of look. So more mushrooms, me trying to draw hands, not doing as well as I'd like. This is from Hannah Lee Duck, just some birds around the world. This I doodled while I was literally like on hold with an insurance company, and I doodled it kind of up real quick, and I was like, I liked how it turned out, so I inked it, turned it into a sticker. So whenever you're bored, doodle up something. Just some kind of like rainbows, mushrooms. I made more like blobs and turned them into things. So this was like a flower with like birds coming out of it. I don't know. And we're at the end. It's been real. I'm so glad you came. If you want to check out some of my art studio vlogs, please feel free. I would love to see you there. And thank you for being here. And I hope you have a good one. Bye.